Good evening. Welcome to Beyond the Numbers. I'm sure you are aware that mobile money has made transactions easier and more convenient, but fraud is on the rise. Scammers are finding new ways to steal from users, and many people are losing their hard-earned money. From fake promotions to SIM card swaps, the threats are growing. The big question is, how can we protect Momo users and keep the system safe? Joining us today are two experts, Melinda Berko and Jennifer Boateng, who will be joining us on Zoom with Fortified Shield Ghana. They will help us understand the risks and share with us their fight on how we can deal with the Momo fraud here in Ghana. Stay with us as we go beyond the numbers here on the show. So the numbers you see behind me now is a very revealing number. That is Momo-related fraud. Many of you are receiving text messages that tells you to either enter your PIN or give out your information or your details that will later be used to probably fraud you. There's been cases all over the country. There have been cases reported, Momo operators being attacked or related in some form or in some shape. Today we'll delve deeper from the numbers, get to understand factors leading to this and why it's been prevalent for quite some time now. So far, over 12,000 Momo-related fraud have been reported annually in Ghana. And these numbers reflect the challenges that the sector has been dealing with for quite some time now. And this number is not just a figure. It tells you that monthly, in 2024 alone, the average mobile money transactions falls annually. About 674 million transactions happens monthly. This is how interesting and thriving the sector has been. It tells you indeed that the actual value of transaction per month gets to the tune of 250 billion Ghana cedis monthly. And that is quite not surprising looking at how interesting it became. It became a key focus of government some years ago, few years ago, when the e-levy conversation came to light. We had a former finance minister reiterating how tremendously liquid that sector is, and therefore there's a need to tax it because it appeared some telcos were making huge profits from mobile transactions. And we know how much data was costly. The key was, can they review those data costs? How possibly all those products being sold by these telecommunication companies can review it to ensure we can have access to cheap data. But this is not just a number. This reflects a trend in our conversation, especially when we look at the Momo money fraud happening in Ghana. This tells you the number of active agents who operate the mobile money transaction. A lot of them go into this business, seeing how thriving it has been. You see a young graduate, the class of people who go into this kind of trade, it doesn't need a degree. All you need to know is the process of handling it. And we have a lot of them in Ghana. But it appears that over the years, these agents have been increasing by the numbers. In July 2021, there were around 270 mobile money agents in the country. Since then, it's been increasing, and as far as May 2022, it increased to 458 million thousand persons who have been engaged in mobile money agency and operating in Ghana. Every corner in Accra, every street in Accra, you keep seeing mobile money agents stationed there, ensuring you have access to interesting or transaction easy. So the mobile money sector ensures that financial inclusivity across sector. What you see here, the key line you see here, is the electronic transaction levy when it was passed in May 2022. That was when we start seeing still the decline in July 2022, where the various agents dwindle a bit. However, it rebounds back after a couple of months. But since then, we've seen the increase in the number of agents who have been operating from 400 to 58,000 to more than that. So these numbers reflect the trend. But I want you to see a very important number there. The number of agents dropped in January 2024 to 404. If you see the figures there, the trend in mobile money agents has come down. Why? Because the transactional conversation, the e-levy conversation became quite topical within the election period because there has been less motivation getting into the business. There have been constant attack on the more money operators because of how juicy the sector has been. Now, I want us to look at the total number of more money transactions that occur by the year. And this tells you how much the sector has been making for quite some time now. Just from 2021, we saw the sector making more from 413 million Ghana cedis in just May 2022. When the e-levy was introduced, it fell down to around 230 million Ghana cedis in 2022 again, and these numbers reflect the reality of the sector. However, we saw still the sector being thriving, so it appears the mobile money transaction sector or the Momo sector is a thriving one, it's a resilient sector. Irrespective of the policy direction, we still saw transaction increasing by the year. In 2024, it still went up to about 500 million Ghana cedis, where currently it's hovering about 446 million Ghana cedis. And these numbers reflect how the sector has been resilient over a long period of time. Still staying on the numbers, you realize that in terms of value or how much these monies are being recorded from the central bank perspective, in May 2022, when the e-levy was still introduced, the sector saw the various more money transactions reducing marginally in terms of value. So in terms of value, over 90 billion possibly Ghana cedis was lost within that sector, possibly from 90 billion to about 84 billion Ghana cedis due to the policy introduction. Still, it was even managed for a period of time, but still went up to around 100 billion Ghana cedis. But still, the sector was able to withstand the policy that was introduced then in May 2022, where we currently experience an increase of over 350 billion Ghana cedis in terms of value and transaction that happened between 2021 and 2024. So this, what you see here, gives you a picture of how thriving the mobile money sector has been as against the various reported cases of fraud. You know, when something is growing, certainly weeds grow around it. But to get more clarity, we are being joined by Belinda Berko. She is a senior account director with Fortitude Ghana, as well as Jennifer Boateng. She also is a senior manager in charge of security engineer at Fortitude Ghana. Good evening, ladies, and welcome to Beyond the Numbers. I'd like to begin with Jennifer Berko. First of all, what are the most common types of Momo fraud happening in Ghana? She's joining me right now on Zoom for us to get more clarity on this issue.
Hello. Did you mean Melinda?
Melinda, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, the common frauds that's happening right now in Ghana is social engineering scam. And what that is basically people pretending to be bank officials like telco. And what they do is they'll call you and tell you that something has happened to your account. So please provide your name, your address, and then the one thing they really need is your PIN. And so please be aware of that. That is a scam. And then you have reversal scam, which is basically, let's say I reach out to you by luck with maybe an account number or a phone number, and I say, oh, I meant to send this money to my friend, but I missed a number. I was wrong. So can you kindly send this amount back to me? You'll see in your balance that it's actually more money. But once you refund the money to me, what's going to happen is that minutes later to an hour, you realize that you actually just gave me your money and that the money that you saw before wasn't real. The next one you mentioned before was the SIM card swap fraud. And that one, if someone gets access to your SIM card, it's over. You need to report it because they have access to your Momo account. And then the last one I've noticed is promotions and giveaways, where you're just getting random messages saying that you've earned something great, a gift, and all you need to do is just give a certain small fee. And the truth is you're not going to get anything because you don't deserve anything. So if it's too good to be true, you need to definitely pay it.
Melinda, we understand how thriving the sector has been for quite some time. Now, from 2021 to 2024, we've seen by the numbers how thriving has been. If you look at the profitability, here hitting over 250 billion Ghana cedis in terms of value. In increasing the sector, you made mention of some key challenges that happen to customers or clients who operate in the Momo sector. In improving financial inclusion in Ghana, how does Momo fraud possibly impact the sector? All right, we will love Melina. Melina will be back and she'll give us more insight. Jennifer, you are in the cybersecurity space. What are the financial institutions, what are financial institutions and telcos possibly doing from your angle to combat the Momo fraud?
Okay. As far as that, oh, Melinda's back. Okay.
All right, can you speak up a bit, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, you are clear now.
I'm so sorry, the network just went down. Could you please repeat your question? Sorry.
Okay, so I'm asking, what are some financial institutions like the telcos doing possibly to combat Momo fraud in Ghana?
Oh, okay. Great question. Now that I'm here, having a Ghana number, I've noticed that what they're doing is at least using biometric logins. So what that is how we are using our numbers to log in and then giving them a passcode, a one-time passcode with the message that we receive. So that's one. They're also taking law enforcement a bit more serious now. So if you are guilty, you're found guilty, you will have to pay the repercussions for your actions. So that's really good because it warns everyone else out in society. And then there's also public awareness, which is really great. A couple days ago, I called a bank customer service, and the first thing that they promoted was the fact that if anybody while I'm talking to customer service, ask for a PIN number, I should not give that to them. So that right there shows that they're taking things more serious when it comes to fraud here in Ghana.
All right, let me get Jennifer into the conversation so that we look at the cybersecurity related. You as a cybersecurity company, especially surveying how the fraud prevalent cases have been happening in Ghana. What are some of the help or propositions you believe can help tackle the prevalent cases?
Okay, some of the things that can tackle, as Melinda said, being more knowledgeable about when something comes with that biometric making sure, double checking the name that you're sending the information to, and confirming with the individual that this is who or he, she or who, that the person is correct to send this information to. You want to make sure you double check those before you send the money, before any transaction is made. So just being more aware of the person you're sending it to, double checking, and then not, one other thing is you may have some random numbers calling. You want to make sure that you don't pick those numbers up. Those numbers are able to pick up certain data from you, and then they're able to get into your account. So if you're not really sure of the number, make sure you avoid those things at all costs, because that's how these things are able to come in and steal your PIN and your password.
So Jennifer, you mentioned
that sometimes it's difficult to.
Okay. Yeah. You mentioned how they can protect their PIN and passwords. What other means can they protect themselves from Momo fraud? Because one very common one, just as the narrative came by, is people calling you and telling you want certain prices, and therefore you should pay a certain amount of money so that you can have access to those prices. And it gets interesting by the way, the tricks and the styles by which they are able to lure a lot of people into their fold.
Right. So when you get those alerts, you have to take accountability for what you're seeing on your phone data. Where did this come from? It's automatic. You don't even know where it came from. So just be mindful. If you haven't really signed up for any promos or giveaway, just make sure that you're aware, I didn't sign up for anything. So why am I getting promotion from somewhere else? So be mindful of the promotions coming. If you yourself know that you have not signed, the best way is to protect yourself is just to avoid clicking the link or calling the numbers back. Just don't call it. Don't call it, because that's the only way that you can protect yourself from getting fraud.
All right. So from your angle, when we talk about cybersecurity, would you believe our cybersecurity institutions in Ghana have put in mass stringent policies to help protect the sector, especially customers?
Yes and no. It's a working in progress for Ghana. So I think that it's something that is being aware. Everyone is getting information about these issues and being aware, so the consumer is hearing about it. And there is, like us, Forty Show Ghana, we're able to be active and proactive when we see these issues and trends coming up, to be able to relate to the consumer, this is what is going on. But I think it's something that is coming, and the awareness is being out. So the trend is coming, but people are very aware of what's going on.
Jennifer, your final words before we go, especially surveying the sector, what are some of the policy suggestions maybe you put in place?
Some of the suggestions is like security monitoring, also some policies when it comes to like again, understanding the biometrics that's coming through, yeah, I think those are
wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, Jennifer. Let me get final words from Melinda as well. Melinda, before you go, your final words.
My final words for the same question?
Yes.
I'll just add that, especially with our company, we are big on 24/7 incident response. So that is something that all companies should look forward to when it comes to cybersecurity, so that we can protect all data. So that's my last.
Thank you very much. Melinda Beck is the Senior Accounts Director with Fortescue Ghana, as well as Jennifer Boateng, Senior Manager, Security Engineer at Fortescue Ghana. Right now, we have the numbers on the screen. If you've experienced some interesting fraudulent attacks, especially on your mobile money, there are people who they had 1,000 Ghana cedis in their account. The next day they woke up, they are around 50 Ghana cedis. And this is a very disturbing phenomenon. I have friends who have been victims of more money fraud. I have business people who have complained that they've lost huge investment because of more money fraud. You are everywhere you are in Ghana watching us right now. The phone numbers are on your screen. Just call in and let us hear what you have to say. What possibly are some of the suggestions you believe can help prevent this case happening all over the country? Although the sector has been experiencing private numbers, we've seen over 12,000 annual average in terms of more money related fraud. The fraud cases keep increasing by the day. Many are victims. And possibly, if you don't put down the institutions or bring up the policy suggestions, trust me, you and I may be a victim. We have first caller on the line. Please, your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
Yeah, this is Nicholas Kondo calling from Nicholas Kondo calling from Katusat Municipality.
All right, Nicholas, please go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I've encountered a lot of things in these mobile money agents. Yeah, I do. Sometimes, you see, when you do transaction, then it's first. But you retry again, you go to my approval, then you do. The next day, you find out that you've been deducted twice. When you try calling the line, they will be giving you an excuses that they are going to work on it, forward it to their. So I don't know actually if the mobile money does not have any regulations, especially these scam boys is getting too much.
All right, thank you very much, Nicholas, for giving us that feedback on there. So the double charges, or let's say double repayment, people, you go to the Momo money agent, they tell you put in your PIN, the next day you keep getting the same messages for approval, and that is some of the disturbing phenomena happening in the sector. You can still call in. We have like 3 more calls to pick. So let us know your experience, especially operating the Momo money business. Many are selling product. They'll deliver the product and tell you send your via mobile money. They'll send you a text message telling you the product, the payment has been made, but those messages is not a direct transaction from the system, but just a mere text message telling you that an amount has been paid to you. And these are some of the tricks that people do or perform in the sector. We've heard about disturbing phenomena of some of the mobile money agents losing their life because of insecurity in some areas or being attacked by robbers, and this is something that should not be encouraged. And also we are ensuring that is key players in the sector, from the telecommunications sector, from the telcos, the minister himself, Sam George, who is trying to put in structures to ensure data prices come down. Let's hope that now that he's in office, most of the things he advocated for will come to fruition. And so let's stay on this and pick more phone calls from this. So we've seen the numbers over 12,000, and in terms of value, hovering over 1 trillion Ghana cedis. Most of the telcos were making full profit. That's when we saw the juicy conversation when the former finance minister decided to take before the House of Parliament for the passage of the electronic transaction levy, the e-levy, which was repealed some few days ago by the House of Parliament because it became a very political topic, considering how impactful it was on the household income of individuals who intend to send money to their family, friends, anywhere. We have Julius right now on the line. Julius, welcome to Beyond the Numbers. Let us know what you have to say. Julius.
Yeah. I'm calling from Kumasi.
Great, Julius, go ahead.
I would like to put it that anytime you were duped by a fraudster and you approach the mobile money office in looking for any help from the officers, no one is ready to attend to you. You don't get any manager, any responsible person. If you want that number to be deleted from the line, no one was ready. So it's somebody's personal number, so we cannot cancel that number. And it's not fair. You see, if you go to an office and there is a manager to attend to you, you don't have problem. But you go there and there are young boys, no one is ready to attend to you, to listen to your problem. So we will try to inform whoever is responsible to attend to you for state issues so that the number could be deleted or the person should be arrested. But when you attend to the office, no one is ready to listen to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Julius, calling from Kumasi. One thing that has come to light, and Julius is not possibly the first person to experience that, is the speed of customer service attention to some of the complaints made by customers who have been frauded, because there are instances where customers immediately they acknowledge the fact that there has been fraudulent activities that has come on their Momo account. They call the telco who is in charge, and trust me, sometimes the time span of response is is actually too long. It should be fast and swift. We have Isaac calling us right now. Isaac, you're live on Beyond the Numbers. All right, we just lost Isaac there. Isaac, call back and let's hear what you have to say. So just as we had earlier, especially talking about the challenges and the cybersecurity related activities in the sector, the Cybersecurity Awareness Month came some few weeks ago. We understood that we have to ensure that we protect our security, our data, our PIN carefully, because it may lead to us losing huge investment. We have Bukari also on the line. Bukari, you're live on Beyond the Numbers.
Good evening.
Evening, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, I have a problem with MTN. Why am I saying this? I've been with the MTN from space to space time, up to date. And about 2 years ago, some people defrauded me over 180 million. I want to go also the head office at the regional office at Gosu. they gave me their lines. Instead of them to block them so that they cannot operate, now they've picked the clips and then thrown it away, and they've bought a new line and they are using. So why must that thing happen? It seems when the previous government was in power, we were made to believe that with the Ghana card, nobody can defraud anybody. So, but what are we seeing? So I beg you, please do something about it.
Bukari, thank you so much for calling in and letting us understand the challenge. And Bukari possibly is not the only victim of this mobile money fraud happening all across the country. It's a key challenge, disturbing phenomenon, and it's not supposed to be so because the sector is thriving. These fraudulent cases, over 12,000 fraudulent cases, is bringing a dark shadow on the sector. And trust me, the sector is over 1 trillion in terms of value, and we believe it's something that we can increase there because of the tendency to improve financial inclusion. My colleague, Akufo-Addo, is supposed to join me today, but he's chilling somewhere. So possibly next week when we meet on Wednesday at 2 p.m., he'll be here with me. My name is Winston Taki. Thanks for watching today's edition of Beyond the Numbers. We'll come your way same time next week. Have a fantastic weekend and then stay blessed. Enjoy yourself.